Hello. In this video, I want to talk about the overall term communication, the theme of communicating, and how it's changed our culture and marketing, and where it's kind of going in the future and everything, which is pretty important. Now, before I begin, down below there is a link in that description, and if you click on there, there's training on what I believe to be the most important part of marketing a product, idea, service online. Okay, and again, everything's going online nowadays, right? So my advertising budget right now is actually pretty cheap. It's so cheap, I pretty much rely on word of mouse. Click, click, mouse. Oh, that's kind of funny, kind of cheesy. But if you look at the past 100 years, the way we have communicated has changed so rapidly. I mean, think about it. I mean, a lot of things have changed, since the Industrial Revolution, but communication is really the biggest one. Even in the last 20 years or 30 years, it's changed so much. A big trend nowadays is for business owners to really go, well, you don't know this social media shit, so let's just outsource it to the young buck. Bam. And so these young kids are coming in there going, well, I could do your social media shit for you because you don't want to learn, and I'll charge you or whatever. Um, I thought it was kind of interesting. It is. It's kind of a trend right now, social media agencies and stuff. But the reality is that things are going to continue to change a lot in communication. I think in the future. I could be wrong. So you really should be studying, how the world is communicating with these new platforms, devices, and educating yourself, and kind of evolving where the world is going and where youngsters are going, because people that are young are the future, kind of in a way, right? For example, I just heard about this new app called Musica that lets kids do music and stuff. So if you're like into the music scene and trying to, which is like a really tough one. I have a good friend of mine who does he did weddings, and now he does church things at churches and stuff. But it's a way to get your name out there too. There's a lot of different cool stuff. But today, most parents and grandparents are probably trying to teach their kids to put down the devices, and communicate face to face. Because they have this romantic view of what communication should be. Um, and the way the world should be and the way it really is are two different things. It really is. And parents think their kids don't know how to act social. They're socially awkward because they only live in the phone. Stop that. Stop the phone. Go, play outside or something, right? But the reality is, if you really sit down and think about this, and I was thinking about this the other day, is that kids are actually very social. They're actually probably more social than their parents and grandparents were when they were going through elementary school and middle school and high school, because they went outside and threw balls and stuff, and they're on these platforms communicating with other people. So they were very social. It's just a different platform. It's a different way of looking at things, really. And the way we communicate, which thanks to this device, has changed so much. This is the main form of communication throughout the world. I mean, I think I read somewhere that in Africa, over 90% of the people have smartphones now or whatever. And I think that, I know Apple charges a lot of money too, but there's a possibility that these puppies can be free. Companies will give them to you. Why? Well, think about it. When you get this device for free, then they could market stuff on them to you and sell you stuff on the back end. So that's something I was kind of thinking about too. And the way we communicate using the phone is the way we recommend products and services will happen that way, because that's where people's attentions are. It's like billboards and stuff. Yeah, if people are, got smart cars, drive themselves, and they're like, looking at their phone when they're on the way to work, these billboards don't have any value because nobody's looking at them or attention to them. Like even commercials, right? As I read, most people when the commercials come, they go boop right to the phone and do the commercials over, boop, and so there's not much value in commercials anymore. It's dying. That's just the reality is, right? And so anyways, so let's not all be all stubborn, okay? And hopefully when I get older in age, I'm not a stubborn old fart, that has this romantic view of what the world should be, but that's not the way it is, okay? So even now, I think the way communication is going towards is voice. And there's some information that's backing that up. I think it is. Um, it's gonna be like this. Alexa, you know if you've heard of Alexa, right? It's at least I think yeah, Amazon.com owns Alexa, I'm pretty sure, but which is like taking over the world or something. But they're like, hey, Alexa, I want my gutters cleaned. Who should I call? Who should I contact? Voice is big because the cool thing about you know, on your homes and stuff, you can have smart voice things going that way. It's probably where things are going is voice. So knowing where these newest platforms are going and learning the algorithm is a good thing to know, and experimenting with processes, like right now I'm experimenting with Instagram and DMing people. Like how many people can I talk to if I can I DM without the spam filters popping up and going bam, and 3 to 4 years ago, I've been in the internet world for a little while, but 3 to 4 years ago I was experimenting with YouTube algorithm, and I was hitting these very low competitive keywords that had a lot of traffic in them, and I kind of figured out the algorithm. And obviously, that's changed. Even Google itself changed a lot since the days when I first got into it. I used to just backlink the shit out of anything. Back in the day with article spinning and blog networks and stuff, and then you can get anything to page one of Google and this first spot if you backlink the shit out of it. But nowadays, after these updates, that don't work no more. The language has changed. It's evolved. You know. Uh, but back to YouTube. Way back in time, it was more of an open market, man. I mean, I had this channel with over 2 million views. I thought it was pretty damn good. 2 million views, like, holy shit. I mean, I didn't spend any money on that, right? Nowadays, it's more competitive. YouTube's harder. And obviously, going forward in the future, it's going to probably be more difficult. Like even Facebook ads, right? It's all about bidding. And the big companies haven't even hit the Facebook ads. So we got a good time right now to hit that before 5 years from now, it's going to be more competitive. So, but then new platforms will come out. So it's always good to be kind of ahead of the curve and be into these platforms early on. There's speed helps a lot. Now, according to Warren Buffett, I completely agree with this. The reason the companies go out of business is because they get complacent. They stop being competitive, start sucking their thumbs, resting on their laurels. They don't even evolve enough out there, right? And it's completely true. I completely agree with that too. And even yourself, if you're like me, I'm a personal brand, I'm a business. I'm always learning trying to learn new things and evolve in myself, in my own life. And communication is really most of the business. And without that, you can't sell anything, and there's no money. It doesn't matter if you have the best damn thing in the world. Uh, so communication is a lot, and that's why marketers, well, they kind of ruin things, right? You know, where there's attention, there'll be somebody trying to market something and use that attention because you can make money off of it in some way, right? Um, and getting it early when there's not much competition is really a good thing. The algorithm really is the language of these communication platforms. And you can't really, it's hard to communicate if you don't know the language. It's a very good thing to know. Like Facebook, for example, speaks EdgeRank. Knowing EdgeRank and how the engagement works so that you can get your ideas to the most people is a good thing to know. Facebook hates YouTube, so if you stick a YouTube video link in there, it just nobody sees that shit because they don't like it. But if you upload directly to Facebook, then a whole lot more people see that. So that's the language, and that's knowing how things work and experimenting too. Uh, and I was thinking about this, but 10 to 15 years ago, I don't think there was any smartphones, right? So the way that we communicate today didn't even exist 10 to 15 years ago. Not the same way. It's changed. Um, and then 1876, the phone came out, right? A long time ago, and then people started getting phones in their houses, and what happened then? Telemarketers started popping up. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing today? And then people started, shit, I don't want to hear this. The no call list popped up, right? 1920, radio came out, and then ears were listening to the radio, and then there you go. That's how they started selling advertisements on the radio because people were listening. Then 1930, TV came out, and that was huge. Those were obviously newspaper had been around for a while. Those are the big boys. And then 1991, internet came out, and it just changed everything. Now instead of newspaper, there's blogs online and stuff. And I was wondering why did Jeff Bezos buy this newspaper company? It wasn't just for the print, but it was also for the brand itself, which people recognize, I believe, not just because of the print. But yeah, so blogs and newspapers turned to blogs. TV now is turning into vlogs. Videos like YouTube, Facebook's watches coming out with some stuff. YouTube's got their own stuff going on now. Um, Netflix is pretty big, but things are evolving, right? And no, learning this digital landscape of the internet, which is controls so much attention now. Not all of it, some of it's still in old school media. Uh, but learning that digital landscape is oxygen for businesses, just like cash is. Cash is oxygen. Um, and I know so many people, the biggest struggle in business is to spend yourself straight out of business. I've done it before. I've seen people do it before. So that's another thing that you need cash to operate things. And that's why there's even the owner of Fubu, forget his name, but he's off Shark Tank though. He worked at Red Lobster forever while he was trying to get his Fubu brand out there because he knew that oxygen, he needed the cash to just to make it. It just you do, and I'm not even really messing with paid advertising yet, even though I could, because it's very easy to spend yourself out of business. I always like to make money and then take that money and reinvest it back in, rather than just because it's very easy to spend yourself out of business. Anyways, hopefully this video I just wanted to kind of share with you made you look at things a little bit differently. Maybe this is some food for thought and things I was kind of thinking about. Like, that's kind of cool. I want to talk about it. But if you like this video or if you learned something, you might click that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. You can also share it too. If you are interested in getting online and being a marketer, whether it be drop shipping, affiliate marketing in the educational niche, um, probably if I had to do it all over again, I've been doing this shit for so damn long. I don't even remember when I got started. Way before the Panda update in Google. Uh, Before that, I used to do phone sales. But learning the process of actually converting someone's attention into a sale is everything. If you don't have that, you don't have shit. Doesn't matter how many views you have, subscribers, likes, uh, doesn't matter about that crap. So that's so important. So many people miss that. Start there, learn that skill set. And then, like I mentioned earlier, after that first sale, learning what to do next, that's huge. It really is. Because the first sale is everything. After you get that first sale, it's much easier to get the second sale and third sale. And when it comes to the online world, it's harder now. So you have to know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're going to do, you're going to waste a lot of time and energy. And the way to shorten that learning curve, which there's always a learning curve, with any business, is by learning from people who are better than you and learning from other people's mistakes like mine. And if you click that link below, there's really good training on a skill set, which is the number one skill set to learn. I would start there, okay? I can't stress that enough, and I'm a big believer in it. So check it out. I'm sure you'll love it. Hopefully it helps you. This video is going long enough. I appreciate your time, and have a very wonderful rest of your day, and bye for now.